Hey guys, this is Wednesday and welcome to my channel. Have you ever dreamed of becoming a flight attendant? Yet you're not really sure how to get there. Well, guess what? I got you covered.
Hey guys, so if you are an aspiring flight attendant, well, guess what? I'm here for you. You are in the right vlog. So the big question is, how do you become a flight attendant? I actually made like a brief list on the things that you have to prepare for. First things first, you got to do the self-assessment, all the inner work. Do you have the skills that are needed for you to become a flight attendant? So what are the basic skills that I'm talking about? First things first, do you have a great communication skills? Can you communicate effectively with other people? Are you an active listener, right? Because being a flight attendant would mean that you get to work with a lot of people coming from diverse backgrounds, nationalities, races, and whatnot. Okay? So you got to ask yourself, how well can you communicate effectively? Because not only you are trying to communicate with your colleagues, but also there are guests that you have to deal with, like in each and every flight. So try to, as much as you can, try to practice. Try to, if you want, you can talk to yourself, practice in front of a mirror. You can develop your communication skills by talking to a stranger. Like all of these simple conversations that you can have, take it as an opportunity for you to improve on this skill. Second is that, are you physically and mentally fit? Because, being a flight attendant is a very tough job. Not others know about this, but you have different work schedules. Sometimes you fly in the morning and then you end up going back to your base, midnight. So you gotta be versatile, you have to be flexible as well. Because of course, I gotta put it out there, being a flight attendant, you have different work schedules, which means that your body clock is totally upside down. You gotta be mentally prepared also, because in every flight, you deal with different situations, different scenarios, different people. So at least you have to have these mental preparations. Okay, say for example, in case of an emergency, you gotta do these kind of steps. For different emergencies on board, for different situations, you have to have like a backup plan. You have to have like backup solutions for every problem that could actually come your way, because you'll never know. Like I said, every flight is different. You work with different people, you work with different guests, and you just have to be prepared for anything, like literally anything. Third is that you have to manage your time well. To me, it is very important that you learn how to manage your time wisely, because honey, time is money in this industry, to tell you honestly. In general, you have to learn how to manage your time. You have to learn how to manage your sleep before and after each flight. You have to manage your schedules, your routines. You have to manage everything, like literally everything. Manage time as much as you can, because it's very, very important. You gotta learn how to balance work, and you gotta learn how to balance life. Because if you guys don't know, being a flight attendant also would mean that it's not only that you dedicate your time in your job, and it's really hard because sometimes you have back-to-back flights. You gotta learn how to manage your sleep. You gotta learn how to manage your time for yourself. You gotta learn how to manage your time for the people you value or your family, right? Fourth is, you gotta ask yourself, can you work well with different people? Like, how are you when, say for example, in an event, when you go there alone, how are you dealing with people? How do you communicate with them? How do you open up a conversation, right? Because why do I have to ask this? Because like I said, you work with different kind of people, with different kind of personalities, different kind of backgrounds in general. So you have to learn how to adapt also to every situation, to every flight. You got to learn how to adapt, but you have to also bear in mind that you are there to actually work, and so you have to follow the standards, and so you have to work as a team also. That's why it's very important that you get to know your work dynamics with your colleagues, let's say. Another question that you have to ask yourself is that, okay, so how are you in times of challenges? How do you handle it? How do you handle stress? Because when you're on board, when you're on the aircraft, a lot of challenges can arise, like from different kind of situations, from dealing with the guests to dealing with your colleagues to dealing with like literally anything. It can be a medical emergency, it can be any type of emergency. But if you're faced with this challenge, like, how do you manage that? How do you resolve that? How do you resolve conflict? How do you resolve stress? How do you manage all of this? So it's very important also to bear in mind that you have to always think on your feet, especially when you are faced with a certain challenge, because you wouldn't want to end up risking your job, you wouldn't want to end up risking your peace of mind, and you wouldn't want to end up risking your health. You wouldn't want to compromise anything. So you just have to learn how to address a specific problem, and then you apply it like every time you face it. The last question that I wrote down here is that, are you confident enough? Like, do you believe in yourself that you could carry out the responsibilities or duties that are expected from you by the company? Because the company hired you for a reason, and they trust you that much for you to be able to deliver what is expected from you. So you have to have that belief in yourself, because I believe that confidence is having belief in yourself and your capabilities. What people see on social media, these are actually what we want them to see. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. People do not know the kind of training that we have gone through, the kind of training that we continuously go through. People don't know how hard it is to be a flight attendant, because it's mentally, emotionally, and physically draining. All right, it's not all about the looks, the glamour, the luxurious lifestyle, but like I said, it's whatever we post on social media or whatever we tell other people, it's just like the tip of the iceberg. So there's a lot of work in it, like the rigorous process of from the selection of candidates until you got there, you got the job, you got the call, until you have gone through these trainings, and then finally to becoming a flight attendant. Okay, so what do I want to say? There's up until now, there's this stereotype that flight attendants are servants, and that's just sad, because you know what, guys, being a flight attendant is not solely about giving out drinks, asking whatever options would you like to take. It's not all about the service here. Like I said, the service aspect of being a flight attendant is just another part of the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so we also go through safety trainings. That's totally different story. So I just want to say that you guys, you have to be kind. All right, I'm not here to coach you on what to do, how to deal with people, how to treat them with respect, but you know, just be kind in general. So if you want to become a flight attendant, you got to do a lot of research. All right, you got to do a lot of research, and you can either apply through an agency, like any kind of agency, local agency. You can check out their websites if there is hiring or not, or you can apply directly to the company itself. So when I say direct application, you just have to go through to their website, and then you search for the cabin crew opportunity section, yeah, wherein you get to make your own account, and then you apply or you submit your applications or requirements online, and then you just have to wait to hear back from them. All right, and what's good about applying through an agency is that you are well guided, and of course, if you're a first-time applicant, for sure the agency will guide you in every step of the way. All right, either way, you can do this or you can do this. It's up to you. It's up to your preference. So also you have to take note that you can either go for an open day recruitment, which means that you have to go to a specific location wherein all the interview and assessment process is going to happen. Whereas an assessment day, it's basically by invitation, only by invite. If you receive an invitation from the company, then of course you have to go to that location or to the venue, and you have to for both the open day and assessment day, you have to prepare all the necessary requirement needed. And what else? Yeah, the only difference between the two is that when you go for an open day recruitment, you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to have a lot of snacks with you, because you'll never know the long queue that will be there. Sometimes it's gonna take the whole day for you to wait for your turn. And whereas the assessment day, it's only like a selected number of applicants, so it's minimal. That's the only difference. Open day assessment, you have to have a lot of patience, you have to have a lot of snacks and energy, because you'll never know when your number will be called. Whereas assessment day, you have, of course, you also have to have patience, but the thing is, there is only a number of applicants that will also be attending the interview or the assessment process. Okay, so like I said, you have to do a lot of research about the company that you want to apply for, research about how to prepare for the interview, or research about like literally anything, question and answer part of the interview, what to expect, what not to expect, so you just have to prepare so that when that day comes, like when the assessment day comes, when the interview day comes, you are prepared. Okay, so know the requirements. All right, like in any kind of interview, it is a must that you put your best version of yourself, carry the best version of yourself. And apart from the confidence part, you have to look prepared. And by this, I mean you have to wear a business attire. And for ladies, it's typically like a smart business attire, wherein you have to have your hair neatly tied, like in a bun. Then you have to have like full face makeup. But as for the makeup, it's best if you don't wear like a heavy makeup, like, you know, the night makeup. But you have to have like a pleasant appearance, so you have to wear makeup. Then for the photos, usually they actually require passport size photos and a full body photo. These are just the general requirements that I am giving out to you. Depending on the requirements of respective company, you just have to look them up so you can be fully prepared. You have to have at least minimum of 1 year experience that is related to customer service. But again, it also depends on which kind of company that you're applying for. In my case, in Saudi, luckily, this is my first ever job, and I've been working with Saudi for 5 years already. And I'm just so grateful for this company because even though I was a fresh graduate at that time, they have accepted me. They saw the potential in me, even when I didn't have like a job experience at all. But yeah, most of the airline company or industry, they're looking for flight attendants or potential cabin crew member who has already an experience. So that will be your advantage. There are also height requirements, and it varies for both for the male and the female aspirants. Why is that? Because you have to pass the reach test. Basically, the reach test is done for you or for the employer to know if you can actually reach the emergency equipment that are located in the overhead compartment or overhead bins. That's why it's being assessed also. You can be a high school grad. You can give them your diploma, submit the diploma. This is just the minimum requirement for you to be a high school graduate. And yeah, so like I said, it is really important that you do your research because these are just the basic or the general requirements that are needed. However, there are a few points or a few requirements that are specific, or that are specific to a certain company. So yeah, it's really important for you to do your research first. So if ever you're given the chance to go for the assessment day or you have received an invitation, then you are well prepared for it. And lastly, you have to believe in yourself and you have to trust the process. Why do I say so? Because, if you have a dream, then you hold on to that dream. Sometimes it's a fact that even your family, even your friends, or the people around you, when you say that you want to achieve this, you can never really expect for them to fully support you on that. Sometimes they will think of it as a silly dream, or a dream that's far beyond your reach. But you know what? You really owe it to yourself to believe in you, in yourself, in your capabilities, because you can never really rely on anybody but yourself and God's plans, right? And trust the process. Just trust the process. Believe me, I have been through a lot of rejections before I got here. If you want something, if you want to achieve something, you gotta do all the steps. You gotta take all of these necessary actions for you to be closer to that dream, right? You have to trust God, God's plans, okay? You have to pray for it. You have to ask for His guidance. And yeah, like I said, just trust the process, because if it's for you, then it will be for you. Like, regardless of how many rejections you go through, or regardless of how many challenges you are faced with, if it's really for you, then none of these would really matter. None of the challenges, none of the obstacles, because you know God has his ways. And yeah, I hope that you guys have learned a thing or two about this video, and I just wish you all the best of luck in the world. If you have a dream, dream big. You have to work hard for it, and you have to pray and ask for guidance from the big guy. All right, so I'll catch you guys in the next video. I don't know what the video is going to be about, but it's basically going to be about my life experiences and how I want to share them with you guys, how I want to share the Lord's words, you know. And yeah, that's it. Have a nice day, and praying for the best for all of us. Thank you.